Hello everyone, Zach Butler YGO, and today I am back with an all-new deck. This one is Swordsoul in Duel Links, and this is going to be a free-to-play friendly version. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that if you go through the box that you're building the deck for one time, you can build the deck. You'll see here all of the core cards are here. You've got your Ecclesia. DD Crow isn't in the box, and you can fill this in with either more engine cards or whatever hand traps or defensive cards suit your needs. One Iris Swordsoul, one Fallen of Albaz, one Long One, two Taya, two Moyi, one Golden Swordsoul, three Book of Eclipse, three Swordsoul Emergence, one Sacred Summit, and two Swordsoul Blackout. Now, if you need to know what the cards do, that's totally fine. We can go. I'll give you a quick breakdown of each of the cards here in a moment. But then for the extra deck, we have one Titanic Lad, one Draco Berserker, one Boxia, one Black Rose, one Changing, one Dragite, two Shishao, and one Dingirsu. Now, Dingirsu is a card that is pretty hard to get in a box, so if you don't have the ticket for it and you need to use your tickets for something else, you can go ahead and fill in with another synchro. That's totally fine. I don't see the Dingirsu being too necessary. Now, you might be wondering, why is Swordsoul even worth playing? And that is honestly because of the skill Virtuous Bonds. It is a universal skill, so anyone can use it that isn't from the 7s era. And it reads that you can only use this skill's second effect once per turn. At the beginning of the duel, you add 3 Mirror Jade the Iceblade Dragon to your extra deck. During this duel, you cannot normal or special summon monsters excluding special summons from the extra deck, except for Fallen of Albaz, cards that mention Fallen of Albaz, or Swordsoul monsters. If your opponent has a card on their field or in their graveyard, you can normal summon one monster during your main phase in addition to your normal summoner set. So when you're going second, it provides that key secondary push that this deck desperately needs. Now, the second part of the skill is to reveal an Incredible Ecclesia, the Virtuous, or Iris Swordsoul in your hand. Then add one Incredible Ecclesia, the Virtuous, or one Swordsoul card from your deck to your hand. So that is a really good skill for consistency. It's also a lot of flexibility. It can get you all of your Swordsoul cards. It gets you additional normal summons. It gets you everything you need to really get to kick off from the ground. Now, if you're wondering what the Swordsoul cards do, you're totally new to it. Let me break it down for you. First of all, we have Incredible Ecclesia, the Virtuous. She's not a Swordsoul card, but she does work with them. If your opponent controls more monsters than you do, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon her once per turn that way. You can only use each of the effects once per turn. During the main phase, as a quick effect, you can tribute this card, special summon one Swordsoul monster or one Fallen of Albaz from your hand or deck, and then during the end phase, if a fusion monster was sent to your graveyard this turn, you can add Incredible Ecclesia the Virtuous back to your hand. And she is a tuner, which is pretty great. Iris Swordsoul can be special summoned if a monster whose effects are negated is on the field, and that is a quick effect. And then if your opponent special summons a monster, except during the damage step, you can activate an effect based on where it's special summoned from. If it was special summoned from the hand, you special summon a monster from your hand. If their monster is special summoned from the deck, you draw 2 cards. And if it was special summoned from the extra deck, you can destroy one of those monsters summoned from the extra deck, which is pretty crazy. Swordsoul Strategist Long One discards another Swordsoul card or a worm and special summons itself, as well as a Swordsoul token. And while that token is on the field, you are locked into synchro monsters. Now, the key here is that the tokens are the tuners in the deck. And so, if you're ever trying to counter this strategy, you're going to want to hit the non-token monsters. So Book of Moon, Book of Eclipse, things like that are going to be huge, because then they can't use any of their Xyz, they can't use any of their fusions. Swordsoul of Taya, once per turn, can banish a Swordsoul card or a worm monster from your graveyard, special summon one of those Swordsoul tokens, and then when it's used as a synchro material, a Foolish Burial is another Swordsoul card. You've got Swordsoul of Moyi, which reveals a worm or a Swordsoul, summons that token, and when it's used as material, it draws a card. Golden Swordsoul can block attacks. It is also able to special summon back your Ecclesia and your Iris Swordsoul if cards are banished. Emergence gets to add a Swordsoul card from your deck to your hand. And then we've got Secret Summit, which is a Monster Reborn. Blackout, which is an Icarus attack. You've got Changing, which is your big boss monster. It can reduce the attack and defense of opponent's monsters while boosting itself by banished cards. If a card is banished, it can banish a card from the field and graveyard. And if it would be destroyed by card effect, you can actually just banish a card to save it. And then Qishao, which is your searching as well as your negation. Now that's a really basic breakdown. Let's just jump right into the games and see what happens. Alright, so we've got our first match here, and it's going to be against Seto Kaiba, which means that it's going to be the Blue Eyes deck, and we are up first. Now, the problem with that is that the Blue Eyes deck is really good going second right now, because it can actually set Majesty of the White Dragons for free. That's fine. Looking at our hand, we've got everything we need to really pull off quite a strong first turn. Now, I don't think this is going to be very good, but that is pretty funny. Actually, that's not bad. So, looking at our hand here, we've actually got two good normal summons in Moyi and Taya, as well as Long One. So we're going to start off with the Moyi. We're going to go ahead and reveal the Taya, and that's going to get us our Swordsoul token. Then we're going to go ahead and we're going to just Synchro Summon right away into our Swordsoul Strategist, Grandmaster Qishao. Now, Qishao is going to get us a card as well as the Moyi, so we're actually going to be able to get a lot of value here on turn 0. And if you're new to Swordsoul, don't worry. This is the bread and butter combo. If you're a longtime veteran, then you've seen this a million times. So we're going to go ahead and grab our Swordsoul Blackout, add that to our hand, and now we are really good to go. We've got everything we need to win the game here. So let's go ahead and use our Long One. Have to find a card to discard. I think of these three, we're just going to discard our Emergence because we've already got a Taya in hand for follow-up for the next turn. Give ourselves a Swordsoul token as well. And now we're going to go ahead and Synchro Summon into Qishao. Not Qishao, Shenging. See, I'm messing up the names all over the place. I haven't played this deck in quite a while. Changing, which is going to get us that extra bit of survivability as well. And we're going to deal 600 damage to our opponent. Go ahead and set our free card. This wouldn't be there normally, so don't worry about that. We probably won't even use it. And we're just going to go ahead and pass the turn over. Now, on their turn, they have to deal with a Changing that can't die by card effect. That's also reducing their cards. They also have to deal with a Qishao, which is going to negate card effects, although that is going to be an issue. And then we have the Blackout as well, which now I don't think can be activated because we don't actually control a worm monster. But that is the issue with dealing with Book of Eclipse, which is why it's such a powerful card right now. We're going to let this play out and see what happens. Hopefully we can survive, though. And yet they are going to get to do their Blue Eyes combos here, which is a terrifying deck. This is, in my opinion, the best deck right now, by far. And we're about to see why, as they're just going to pop off uninhibited. Now, the skill lets them actually set the Majesty from the deck for free, and it can be activated this turn. So now they're going to get to pop some cards for free, and I think we might just be toast here. Oh, they destroyed both the back row and the Changing. So now, if they can get 4,000 damage, then I am just done here. The Kaiba Man, the legend, is being summoned next. I'm not totally sure that I agree with that sequencing, but that's just because I'm a little greedy with my Kaiba Man. And now we see the Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. I feel like there's definitely a way for them to win this game. But let's see what happens if they have, well, if they have Ultimate Fusion at all. Oh, they have Imduk, okay. Actually, no, they definitely can win the game. Oh, they're doing the Guard Dragon version, okay. So this is pretty solid. Now they can go into Seal. If they can get away to Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon, they win the game, but I don't think they can. There was actually a pretty easy OTK, but I'll be doing that in a Blue Eyes video soon. Attack over my Changing, and now I take a whopping 100 damage, because right now we're in the Duelist Kingdom event, so their light monsters gain 100 attack. No big deal. Alright, we are back up, and as you can see, we are dealing with quite a bit here on our turn. We're going to start off with the Taya. If that is a Majesty, we are in trouble with that, assuming that they get a little greedy. Let's see. We're going to go ahead and banish our Blackout. See what we can do here. Seal is going to get summoned, or used next, which I'm not sure I necessarily agree with. I'm actually not even going to use the Crow here. There is an argument to use DD Crow to banish the Seal, which then gets rid of the ability for it to summon because it won't have moved locations, but that's totally fine. So now we have quite a few options here ahead of us. We'll have to see what happens. Blue Eyes Jet Dragon is a terrifying card. Go ahead and normal summon the Taya, and we are going to do our best to get a following turn. I don't know that we're going to have quite what we need here. Does this target? It does. Not great. So, let's go Shishao. And now we're going to go ahead and activate Shishao's effect. We're going to get a search. I don't think there's a reason to Taya. And we can actually just go ahead and grab our copy of Sacred Summit, which is going to be really good for the follow-up because now we can go ahead and activate that Sacred Summit. We're going to bring back the Chengying. Huge swing right there. Now this is actually a pretty good duel, all things considered. We're going to bring back our Chengying, which is going to reduce their attack by 100, increase itself by 100 because of that one banished Swordsoul card. Alright, so now I'm just simply going to attack only the Blue Eyes Sphere Dragon. Now the reason for this is because if the Jet Dragon does battle, it's going to bounce a card. Now this part might seem problematic, but that is okay, as long as they don't summon Black Rose Moonlight Dragon. If they summon Black Rose Moonlight Dragon, I might be in some trouble here. If they don't, though, then this Chengying is going to get incredible value, because I'm going to use DD Crow to banish a card, which will then trigger the Chengying to banish another card on the field and the graveyard. Okay, so the Light Storm is perfect. Now I'm going to go ahead and activate this DD Crow here. We're going to banish Kaiba Man the Legend, actually, specifically. And now that will trigger my Chengying. Alright, so we are safe from any sort of graveyard nonsense there. And let's go ahead and get rid of that Blue Eyes as well. And now the Chengying, as you can see, just cleaned up a ton of threats on the field. The True Light does not matter. They can set a card, they can even summon a Blue Eyes, I don't really care. If they summon a Blue Eyes, I may not even destroy the Lightstorm Dragon. Okay, so now they've got that. So they can go ahead and set their Ultimate Fusion, that's fine. Now the Ultimate, or the Lightstorm Dragon will get to set probably the Majesty or the Black Eclipse, actually. Either one of those are going to be really good. But they can only activate it if they control a normal monster, which is totally fine, because currently they don't have access to one. Now we are back in control of this game. It looked like we were probably going to lose. Okay, and now they get to special summon a Blue Eyes White Dragon. Which means they'll be able to activate the effect of Book of Eclipse. And then they can even use their Ultimate Fusion. So maybe they'll be able to win the game. Oh, they can summon that back. Interesting. I totally forgot that Alternative White Dragon counts as a Blue Eyes White Dragon monster. But they don't have the ability to use their copy of Book of Eclipse because... Oh, and I just messed up. I was supposed to target the Blue Eyes... I can't target the Blue Eyes White Dragon because of the True Light, so I made a mistake. And now they're going to get to summon their Blue Eyes Chaos Dragon. So in case you're confused what happened, they couldn't use their Book of Eclipse because they don't have a normal monster. I forgot that I cannot target Blue Eyes White Dragon with card effects currently. Oh, Sheena Bird Peacock. Okay. And so I used my copy of Chi-Xiao trying to negate a card, which would be the Blue Eyes Alternative White Dragon. Unfortunately, I can't do that. And now I'm locked down. And so I turned off my own Chang'e. And now, yep, it is a simple matter of me losing this game because of a critical misplay. Alright, we are going second in this matchup, and let's see what happens.
Duel.
As you can see, we started off with Taya, Emergence, Book of Eclipse, as well as DD Crow. We're going to just pretend like this Torrential Reborn doesn't even exist. And let's see what we can do into this matchup. Oh, we're playing against DDD. Alright, let's see how that deck can do currently. I haven't actually seen DDD play in quite a while, so it's going to be interesting to see how they play. You see the Dark Contract grabbing the Swirl Slime sending itself, and Pendragon to the graveyard to fusion summon Flame High King Genghis. And then summon Night Howl, which will special summon a DDD monster in the graveyard. However, that DD Crow that I mentioned, that is one of the best hand traps right now, that is going to come up right here. And now we see Swamp King being activated. And Dark gets summoned, and now we're going to use those two for a Synchro Summon of... Holy cow. DDD, Super Doom King, Bright Armageddon. Never even heard of this card. Control monsters control card effects. Choose one monster they control. Alright, let's see what this does. Your opponent cannot target monsters you control with card effects. If another monster is normal or special summoned while this monster is on the field, make your opponent choose one pendulum monster they control, and all other monsters they control currently have their effects negated. This card in the monster zone is destroyed. You can place in your pendulum zone. So we're just gonna go ahead and use our Book of Eclipse, turn that face down, activate Swordsoul Emergence. We're gonna go ahead and grab that Moe and quickly win the game. They didn't even give us a chance to do it. Let's get one more game and see if we can get some better footage. For our final match, we are up against Sherry, and we are going first, which is gonna feel great. And we are actually playing in a mirror match, which is going to be very interesting to see. We open up with Emergence, Blackout, Iris, Swordsoul, Book of Eclipse, and of course that card that we're pretending doesn't exist. We're going to go ahead and activate that emergence. We're going to grab ourselves a Moe right away. This will unlock our entire deck from there. Go ahead and activate that Moe, reveal the Blackout. Now that does tell... Oh, we just reveal the Iris Swordsoul, so we don't even have to grab the Blackout, which is really good. And now... we can go ahead and activate Virtuous Bonds, reveal the Iris Swordsoul, grab the Incredible Ecclesia. I think actually, I didn't see the prompt. We could have done this before. Yeah, we could have done this earlier. We could have gone Ecclesia into Moe, reveal the Emergence. So this was actually a misplay already. I just thought that was the EX skill that it was trying to show me. My mistake, but that is okay because we are still able to do the full combo. That's one of the great things about the Swordsoul deck, is it is very forgiving for mistakes like that. Now we'll sequence it. We're going to have the Moe be Chainlink 2 so we get the draw first. See what we get there. What did we draw? We drew a Taya, so we don't even need to potentially search that out later. We're going to go ahead and grab ourselves a long one. And then we'll discard the... we're going to discard the Taya, and the reason for this is because I want to keep the Iris Swordsoul in hand, because on their turn, my Shishao... oh, I just messed up. Just misclicked. Huge mistake. Big, very costly mistake. I misclicked. There was supposed to be a Chenging here. That I get for only half paying attention. Let's see what they can do. They have their Ecclesia, so that's really good. Ooh, the Book of Eclipse too is gonna be rough. But that's fine because they're gonna use their Emergence to grab their long one. Now, the only downside here is we have to be incredibly patient. We have to let the monster zones fill up. So here... there is a world where we just use Book of Eclipse right away, but I think we're going to wait. See what happens here. If they reduce the Taya, yeah, we're definitely gonna change the Book of Eclipse. This would be a Black Rose Dragon. That would just end the game for me on the spot. Would be no good. And now they've got to think because they have this token, which, I mean, if they have long one access, they can at least Cheng-Ying, but I don't know how good that's going to be. He's really taking his time thinking about this. Well, in the meantime, we were supposed to have a Cheng-Ying alongside the Shishao. Not that it would have mattered, because as you can see, Book of Eclipse is such a good card right now that I would have shut this down anyway. But they also would have been at 3,400 life points, and we would have been in a slightly better position. We also would have been in a better position if I had used the skill correctly. but they are summoning the long one. They're going to get that level 10. And for some odd reason, they surrendered, despite being in, honestly, not too bad of a position. But as you can see, though, it's a little hard to get good gameplay footage with the games are ending so quickly, but that is a very basic breakdown of the Swordsoul deck.